everybody who knows me knows that I have a daughter and a son. Both of them are strong characters with firm ideas on just about every issue you can think of. God knows we butt heads over some of those positions, but that's only in a metaphorical way. I cannot for the life of me understand how in God's name in these modern times girls and women are still being brutalized for daring to have opinions. But here we are, in a woman's world where sometimes the reality is very harsh. Honor killings, ladies. Like, seriously?
Yep.
I think that some people have a very warped view of honor, right? I don't know if there's anything honorable about these killings. Just because you disagree with what I'm doing. You don't get to just kill me.
In some societies you do, and it's a very real thing. We say it's a woman's world, and ideally we would want it to be, but it's still very patriarchal. And a lot of the things that we're seeing, it's that we're punishing women for going against the grain, going against what men set as these standards that we need to adhere to, and women are suffering because of it. It's a very sad situation.
Just to define what we're talking about, honor killings, it refers to the murder of a woman or girl by male family members who claim the victim brought dishonor on the family name or prestige. And this happens a lot with the aid of other women in the family. So for instance, if you are sexually immoral, that means you're openly conversing with a man who you're not related to, and that's considered immoral.
Yeah.
So you're talking to a man, he's not your relative, he's not your husband.
Or they're like, you whore! And off with her head. In essence, that's what it is.
Okay. Or if you have sex outside of marriage, and that could also include rape.
Yes.
So if you're a victim of rape, it is considered that you've had sex outside of marriage.
All they care about is that you're no longer a virgin.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're no
And
longer a virgin.
somewhere in that, the rape is your fault, because it could have been that, oh, maybe you looked at him longingly, or you did, you adjusted something that, because men can't control themselves.
Oh, no.
So it's always on the woman to ensure that she's acting with decorum and modesty and being very conservative to ensure that these poor lowly men who have no self-control, we keep them in check. It's on us.
Of
It's
course.
always our responsibility.
Of course.
So this is something that affects as many as 5,000 women every year. And this is according to the United Nations Population Fund. And prosecutions, we understand, are relatively uncommon.
Right.
So
What it would be if the society's patriarchal, that means that judge and jury more than likely will be men, and they're going to hold true to that belief.
Which I guess for me begs the question of how do you even begin to change
Right,
something
that
like
was
that?
my
You know what I
issue.
mean? Because if the people who are in power believe that this is how things should be, then they're not going to be having legislation, where they're doing anything differently.
Which is one of the reasons why we're even doing this show. It's that we need to talk about these things. We need to have a seat at the table. We need to be in the conversation to change those kinds of things and make legislation, and also ensure that they're enforced. Because the thing is that a lot of times laws are put on the books, but nobody's enforcing them. There is no punitive action for the things that are happening to women across the world. And we need to stand together.
and we really do need to care. I mean, we
Right.
don't have honor killings here in Jamaica, for instance. But anywhere injustice is happening, it should be your concern,
Sometimes you hear about these things, and I genuinely have to wonder sometimes. And I say it a lot of times, and people think, sometimes I genuinely feel like men don't like women. Because why would you even conceive of that? Unless you don't like the person or the species, why would you? Some of these things that men come up
of
with.
the women who go along with it.
Well,
But
that's what
because
I'm
they're
saying.
raised in that same society, it's not that easy to just be like, go against the grain, because you're punished for things like that. You're punished to have an opinion that differs from what you were told is the opinion you should have.
Yeah,
so it's going to
Ty.
be very hard for them.
Yeah, because if I see somebody about for string you up and I know, say, boy, if I say, no, leave her alone, them good for string me up instead,
You're
I'll
kind of
probably
going to be
just-
like,
I'll come to your funeral, I'm
and
sorry.
knowing our mouth,
Yeah.
them are going to string way up.
When you say, oh, what you mean? You
Me
and
and you.
Stacey. Okay.
Stacey too, she go on like, oh, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's a real thing, and it's sad that it's still happening.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We just have to start look out about it. So stop not Kim Kardashian and all those people when they finally take a stand and publicize these things. Because if nothing else, they have a platform. Some of us don't have the same type of platform. We can do what we can in our own communities and in our own spheres to defend each other. But kudos to the people who are standing up and saying something about it.
And to organizations like the United Nations.
Exactly.
And other
women's interest
global groups that are standing up and speaking out and encouraging countries to apply sanctions to those that still do this kind of thing, because it's a human rights violation at the very base of it.
At the very base. And people who are using social media to share the information and putting it out there that these things are happening. Because a lot of times we don't know. You know, some people don't have the information. And sometimes we also need to seek out the information. Some of us are lazy and we don't really want to know what's going on. Because in knowing what's going on, then you kind of need now to do something about it.
Right. We don't want that burden of responsibility. You're right.
So we need to work on that. But the work is being done. We're getting there.
And we'll continue to press for change. And I mean, you can do that in your own way. Most of us have social media platforms. Let your voice be heard. Speak up. Back after this break.
I'm bold and beautiful.